Hey guys, you guys are watching Nas100 Self-Improvement here, back with another trading video, and I just want to break down the indices and gold this past week, and just want to recap on my strategy. As you guys know, that when we have an indication, which is one right here, you see that we're indicated, right, that we're bullish. We formed this resistance, and we created this downward structure that was broken, which I've explained multiple times over and over again on my page, that once that structure's been broken, we will come and clear that that level, the previous level of resistance. So what's nice is with this strategy, you could it allows you to hold sort of the movement. As you can see here, you could have held for as pretty much as not as much as you wanted, but as a trader, you know that's risky, and it's better to just take profit. But in many cases, as in the later video, I'll show you why you would want to hold. But moving on, when we had an indication above this level, right, we saw price come down to that level, right, and I just want to ask you, why would you have not taken this trade right here? Why would you have not entered buys? Let's say price was around here. We have this nice rejection level right here, but why would you have not entered? Right, you can pause the video. But the answer is here now. As you can see, right, we had this big red candle, this big bearish candle, but as you can see, the past few candles were pretty small, right? But we see this aggression and sellers, right? So with that candle, you would never want to touch buys there, right? You want to wait for price to sort of calm down a bit and look for another good level of support before you look for buys. And that's exactly what we had right here. We saw that when price touched here, we had very aggressive buyers entering the market, which gave us this indication, which is why when we saw this smaller candle, the smaller bearish candle touching this support here, it was a perfect entry model for us to enter, right, and have sort of a tight stop loss, right? Never too tight since you trading indices, but even if you didn't enter there, you could have waited for the bullish engulfing, which is a way safer trade, right? But also price could have done this whole candle, could have cleared the whole candle to this resistance here, as we saw before, right? Which is why sometimes I don't like waiting for the bearish engulfing. But if you had entered there, you could have just targeted your next level, right? And which we broke in about a couple of days, really, you know, something like. But I just want to prove to you guys that I actually know what I'm talking about and my strategy works, right? And I just want to share that with you guys. Just keep remembering that when price corrects itself, it will always come down to a resistance or support, or depending on which trend you're in, or it will make a retracement in a trend form using a trend line. In my case, then when it breaks that, that's where you enter your buys and you target the next time. What's nice about the strategy is that you don't necessarily get that much. You don't, rare cases where you experience drawdown. But let's move to US30. It's sort of the same. It's not sort of the same thing, because usually US30 and Nas100 move in very perfect confluence, where one is buying, the other one would also be buying, right? But before I started recording this video, I just wanted to go over the charts a bit. But also, if you guys remember, I did place this trade right here, but I had my stops around here. So as I reviewed that trade, I realized that I should have had my stops above this previous high, right? Because only when price breaks that is when we want to close. But price could always just come to touch here and go down to the downside, right? But as I said to you guys, this is literally goes well. Let's say we had a support here, we broke that, giving us a bearish indication. We had a retracement and we touched that resistance, right? And then after touching that resistance, we had a really good doji there, which is why I entered sells, because as you can see, we had a big bearish candle. But as soon as we started touching this resistance block here, we had a bearish a bearish doji, which in that tells us that now the sellers are starting to become more active, which is what we want to see, a change in momentum, a change in power. So which is why I would have entered sells here to the previous low. And again, with my strategy, I told you guys that you guys could always hold for the next indication, but the problem is holding to the next indication, you don't know when it could be, right? You could always speculate based on past resistances, past supports, and all of that, but it's not as high in confluence as the way that I trade. Right, let's move to German 30 quickly. I don't want to waste you guys' time. You guys can see the pairs that I'm trading when you look over here. Don't be too worried about what's happening in the top left. But I want to show you guys, because when I broke down this, I told you guys there would be a retracement before we started heading up to the upside again. And this is the exact structure that I drew, right? So unfortunately, we didn't have that retracement right around here. But here is exactly what I was talking about, right? Where this support only formed after, but where our indication, right? And we started having our retracement. And our retracement came below the support level, and then the price sort of consolidated there, and when we were above it, we just shot up. As you can see, we would have had sort of I can't lie, I'm not sure how this would have played out if I had taken it live, but I probably wouldn't have used a stop loss, right? I don't like using stop losses, but yeah, this could have been a 1 to 5 risk to reward, but if we hadn't been stopped out, you see, it's not as good as a ratio. So but yeah, I just want to show you guys that I do know what I'm talking about, because this is exactly what happened, right? We came down to support. This is literally what I'm talking about. We had a retracement in a trend line, and when we broke that, we started moving bullishly. Gold, right? Gold should be a big topic. If you're a trader, if you've been keeping up with the markets, gold should be a big topic for you, right? I just want to point out that in Nas100 US30, the past few years, every time we started the year, like the first quarter of the year, we were always bullish, right? We were bullish for a very long time before we started trending downwards. So we could be experiencing the same thing and sort of the pattern that we're in. So a bullish first quarter, and then price sort of retraces or whatever. But these are, I would say, these are good conditions for Nas100 and US30 to trade. They're very clear on how they move. If you know your strategy, you know your edge, you can easily make money from these pairs. It's not that hard. But let's move to gold. Gold, gents. Guys, I promise you, I told you that this pair is bullish. I promise you, right? But there's other confluences, like news. News is a big one, right? I'm pretty sure we had NFP today, or maybe it could have been last week. I think NFP was last week. Wait, let's just check right here. Yeah, NFP was last week. Or was it? I'm not sure, but news has also played a big part in this move right here. Gold has been, I don't even know how to explain it, man. This is pretty self-explanatory, you know. This is not normal. It's not normal for a pair to move this biased. So it's basically moved 1% every day for the past 7 days, right? It moved 1% higher than its previous price. So as you can see, right, we sort of had a good resistance level that was here, that we absolutely smashed, right? This was a good resistance level that we absolutely smashed. This one right here is a sort of an all-time high, I think. I'm pretty sure. Okay, no, it's not. Yeah, it's this one. This is the all-time high right here. This one that I'm highlighting right here, that is the all-time high, right? So when we look at stuff like that, we have to ask ourselves, why is this so bullish, right? Why is this safe to trade? How would you trade this, right? And my first response to this, as the strategy that I trade, you have to take a smart approach to this. Now that this is so bullish, everyone wants to buy, and you don't want to buy when everyone is buying, right? The reason of that is because when everyone is buying, which is pretty much the retail traders, the institutional traders will take you out. They'll take all that money that you guys have put into the market. So with that being said, right, this should be taken as an indication, right? Because of course, which with what I said of you holding on to the trade based on my strategy, is that you don't know, you have, I promise you have absolutely no clue when this will end. This could go on forever, right? But the thing is, this is no man's land. We have never been here, as gold has never been this pricey, has never touched this price. This is the first time in history gold has done this, right? So every time we were here, it's not difficult for you guys. Right here, when we're here, price sold heavily. When we're here, price sold heavily, right? Pretty much every time we touched this zone, right, of 2100, nearing to 2100, we've sold heavily. So why is price not doing that now? This tells us that gold is very bullish, and the safest way to trade this would be to wait for the correction, because I promise you there will be a huge correction, and when price sort of gives us very much clearer understanding of what it's trying to do, it will be a way safer trade. Because if I can put this into perspective, imagine seeing that price is bullish and you enter a buy, right? Price can go on and go on and go on. You don't know when price will cease to be bullish. You don't know that. But imagine if you saw this bullish indication and waited for the retracement, or waited for some sort of confirmation, right? This would be a way safer trade for you to add more risk to the trade and sort of make more money off of this, right? It's very hard for you to make 10,000 from this, right? Because you don't know when this is going to stop. But if I waited for it to come back to this support, give me a good rejection, and buy back to this level, it will be very easy for me to make 10,000 off of that. I hope this is sort of easier for you guys to understand. Because now, what if you enter the trade here and price just starts going down because you think that was so bullish, was just going to carry on? But I don't want to waste you guys' time. I want to move on to the next pair, which is Bitcoin, that I'm gonna go over. And if you guys are interested in that, you can check out my channel. The video will be up shortly. But thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video, giving you guys another breakdown and insights on how the market's gonna move, because past few weeks we've been killing it actually. So yeah, if you guys trade with me, just watch what I do and give me your own insights. We could build something. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.